Bonjour à tous. Oh, hello, sorry. This is the English version. Hi, this is Rachel from the Strider's Adventures. Welcome to this fourth video of my live series on Arctic Thousand. And today again I'm sharing with you the story of my latest expedition, my latest solo expedition in the north of Finland. So if you haven't seen the first three videos, you should just go back and check them out before this one. So today I will keep on talking about the story and the obstacles I overcame during these 3 weeks of expedition. But first, I want to come back on the question that's come back and comes back all the time, and that people often ask me. So maybe it needs some details and further information. It's about the route itself, how I made this route, how I created it, and how I was navigating it every day. So the initial idea I had was to do 1,000 kilometers on my own in the north of Finland. And when I started searching a bit, I decided to go on the basis of the Extreme Lapland Challenge that was created by Alex Casanovas, the one who created the Rovaniemi races. And actually it's 40 waypoints from Rovaniemi city to Inari and back that you have to reach the way you want. So I started on this basis to create my own route. But there is no route. I mean, there's not the right route to do it, the right tracks or the right road to take. You just do it the way you want and the best way to reach each of these waypoints. So that's how I started, and I follow that road, the road I had planned, until maybe the 2/3 of my expedition, and then I had to change because I needed to go and fix this ski binding in a ski resort, which took me off that waypoint road. And after Inari, after that, I also decided to change and to take another route because of the snow condition, of my ski condition. So that's why in the end I made my own challenge, and well, thinking or looking back, I should have done it since the start, but that's another story. So you can do it on ski and maybe snowshoes, but I wouldn't recommend it because the snow can be so deep, and well, in my opinion it's not a good idea at all. You definitely can't do it with fat bikes because most of the tracks, when they are not used, it means it's open road in summer or it's forest track in summer, but now in winter, depending on the snow condition, nobody has been using them. So it's just beautiful open. You can see the opening in the forest, but it's like just beautiful motorway of white snow, pure and deep and untouched. So um, no way you can go with a fat bike there. And then the percentage of road or tracks or snowmobile tracks, it really depends on the route you decide to do. Um, for what I've done this year, as there was so much snow, most of the tracks that sometimes were used in winter were not this year. So I know some people who've been in places and they told me, oh, you should go there because at this point you can cut through the forest, there's a shortcut. And this year it was just like pure white snow, and I knew it would take me much longer to go there, rather than doing maybe like 10 extra K, but on a high sea road, which is much quicker. So it really depends on a year, from one year to the other. And sometimes I was really lucky, or it was just because the next village I was going to had an open road, and these open roads in winter are like icy roads, especially until the end of March. So you can really go fast, and the polka, the sled, is just going so easy, so that's great. So this is more or less the kind of tracks I had, and sometimes they were like snowmobile tracks, nice wide ones. That's also very nice and pleasant, but just have to be extremely careful because they go really fast. They're not expecting people to be walking there, so you just have to really get off as soon as you can when you hear them coming. And and sometimes these tracks are really good, sometimes they're not so good because they're not meant for skiers, they're meant for snowmobile. So they can really go up and down hill, being not so good in conditions. And there's a lot of them that are very little used at that time of the year. So again, the condition change from one day to the other, from one year to the other. And I also found sometimes in the forest or in the Metze, um, these tracks made by the reindeers herders. So they go and watch their reindeers out there. So you can sometimes use a bit of their track, but just always be careful because it might not go where you want to go. So this is it. And for the rest, I was just doing everything with my GPS. And I have also a Finnish website called Mapitare, which really helped me figure out everything about all kind of terrain, where I was going, if there were fences, if there were any bridge or kotta or lavu. And these are really, I mean, these maps are amazing. So that's how I navigated most of the time, well, all the time, through these 3 weeks of expeditions. So I hope I've clarified a little bit, and if you still have questions, just make sure you put them in the comments. So now let's go back to the story itself. So I left you where after I left Sariselka to go direction of Ivalo, and from there on the temperatures were much warmer, but with them it also brings them much more wet conditions. It started to snow, and there's been a lot of wind, and later on I even had rain. So much different condition all of a sudden. And at that point I was so determined to make it to Inari that nothing could have stopped me. I mean, it was difficult some days, and I really had to call on inner resources to make it work, to my self-motivation, to this Finnish concept of sisu, to really be the strongest I could be to face the conditions, but I wanted to make it. And the crossing of Lake Inari was something really special. And the lake is huge, it's really big, and I just did a part of it, but it took me a day and a half just on the lake. And the first day was okay, good condition to ski, but quite a lot of wind, but that was all right, and a bit of snow. But the second day, I was having this front wind for 20 kilometers, and I was not progressing at all, and that was damn hard. And I was like, gosh, I'm not gonna make it to this Inari. And it was so hard, and I was like, sometimes I just stopped and cried because I was like, god damn, I'm so close and I just can't seem to be moving. And it was raining and windy, and well, that was tough. And I remember I reached Inari, this small Sami village. I like the place very much. I got there, and suddenly the sun came out of the clouds, and it was just a beautiful day the rest of the day. So that was quite something special to do. So I stopped in Inari for a full day, so 2 nights and a full day there, to just really recharge my battery because I was not sure I would keep on. It had been pretty tough, physically speaking. I was impressed of what I could do, but it was really hard. So I decided to take a break, and after that I said, okay, I think I can keep on. It didn't feel right to stop there. And then that's when I saw all the posts and the comments that you guys made on Facebook and Instagram. So I was like, no, I can't just give up now. So I kept on, and I was really how can I say, feeling strong and confident that I could do it until Rovaniemi. I had done my own route now, so I was finding more shelters because I knew that the forecast for the next 3-4 days was snow. So I wanted to find shelters and make it a little bit easier for me. So I started feeling pretty strong, but yet in the background, um, it was starting to be a little bit difficult because I had more and more news about this corona pandemic, and even if I couldn't do it and do anything about it and was not concerned about any of it yet, I knew it was getting difficult for the people in my place and my family, etc. And later on, I got some news that were was very hard for me to take in from Switzerland. So it started making my journey a bit harder, and my mind wasn't free as it was at the beginning. But well, anyway, I found 3 shelters for the next night, and um, it was really nice to be, protected from the wind and the snow. And I did really good distances, so I was happy about it because I was really doing well, and yeah, I was skiing pretty well, etc. So I also noticed I was getting tired at night. It was getting harder to boil water and do all the camp. I'm alone out there. There's nobody who's going to take care of me, and even if I call for the people I know, they will still take 1 or 2 days to reach me, and otherwise it would be a rescue, which I didn't want at all. So I always try to keep my energy level at a certain level in order not to be overtired. But I was starting to get tired, and I think the mental side was stronger than than the physical side. Um, but anyway, I was like, okay, despite it all, I can keep going, and I will find another shelter. And it was like one day after another, and just keep on, keep on, keep on. But then one morning, I was skiing in the fresh snow, and suddenly my right binding just broke up, open. So I looked, and actually it was really broken. Like the plastic just broke in two, and that's it. So I was like, okay, not many other solution than just take a strap and strap it around my foot and the ski to hold my foot in place. And I kept on like this the whole day. At night I wanted to go to Okota so I could fix it a bit better, but it went okay because the snow was so deep anyway. I couldn't ski very fast. And at night I felt tired, and I couldn't warm up really well, and I fixed the ski binding as I could, but it really looked pretty bad. And the worst thing is that I started losing confidence in this gear because I was like, okay, tomorrow is the day where I reach a road, but then I'm like 3 days out in the forest again. Nobody can come and pick me up easily. And what if, and these doubts creeping in, that's the worst enemy ever. But that's how I was, and I was tired too. So just remember that it was been quite a long time already. I was alone out there. Um, so my people here in Finland knew about it, and they could come and pick me up if I needed to. But I still wanted to give it a try. And the next morning I set off, being like, okay, let's see. I got 10K of forest track and snowmobile track, but not very good one. But let's see how it goes, and then I decide. And to do these 10 kilometers, it took me 5 hours because skiing was so bad. I was not making any progress, and well, the polka was not heavier than before, so it's not really the issue. It was more like, okay, physically now, I struggle with this ski issue, and so at lunchtime I called and I said, well, okay, now yeah, my decision is taken. I stop here. And so picking up was arranged for later that day, so I could still do another 15K. So at least I had done something that day, and that was okay for me because at that point it really felt like, hey, this binding breaking up another time. Now maybe you should just tune in and actually listen to the red flag, and that's how I took it. Um, if I had listened to my reason, my mind, my brain, I would have just kept on because it was like, yeah, keep on, you're not dead yet, you can go on. but something wasn't right anymore, and this not feeling right anymore is what I encourage you to listen to all the time, because that's when it it's not like you're not in alignment with what you're doing anymore. And for me, that's when you can start doing stupid things like mistakes, or you get an accident or something. I think if I hadn't listened to it, I would have put me in a much more serious situation later on. Well, anyway, I don't know, because I stopped there and I was happy about it. Um, I have no regret at all about this, because I've been much further than I thought I could when I saw the condition out there this year. Um, I handled so many obstacles. I've overcame a lot of personal fear and demons, and you know, these inner voices. But at the end, it was a bit too much, and it wasn't fun anymore. As I said, it didn't feel right anymore. Um, but the bottom line of it, even if this expedition was hard, I do it because it's fun. I do it because I love to be out there alone. It's really something I can do and I love doing. So um, if when it didn't start to feel right anymore, it was not fun anymore. So I said, no, now I stop, because in the end, I'm just gonna put myself in difficulties, maybe be injured or whatever, and that's not the point of all this. Um, so now I'm still in the process of digesting the whole thing. It's been really intense, and so intense that sometimes I feel like I've done nothing. It's like, okay, I was 3 weeks out there and it feels like I haven't done much. So this is quite, yeah, it means it was really intense experience. And I also try not to go into this judgment mode that is so typical of our society, I believe, because I didn't get to the end. And I mean, what does it mean to go to the end, to finish this 1000K in really bad conditions, or maybe not at all, or to have finished there and have so much, to have learned so much from it, because it was an incredible adventure. There's of course much more I could tell about it, and I will write the book for sure. Um, and also, with this coronavirus thing in the background, I realized that navigating into the unknown is something I've done so often, that it doesn't make it easier for me now to be in this unsettling situation of what's coming next, for me, for all of us. But I know that something better is always going to come. It's exactly like when I have these long section of forest and never ending ones, and I know at the end they're going to be something, and it's going to take me further and further and further. So it's like one step at a time, 1K at a time, one day at a time. And the current situation forces the whole world to just slow down and actually to navigate into this unknown the way I've been doing this for Arctic Thousand. It's another kind of adventure, but it's an adventure as well. You can't know what's coming next. So I think it's a challenge, and for all of us, and in a way, it's not the theory anymore. Now we have to apply living in the now, changing our habits and being more authentic, dropping off the mask. But you know, when I'm out there in the forest with nobody, there's nothing else but me, my own skills. I can't, you know, I can't behave in a fake way, because I wouldn't survive. So maybe that's my word, that we should all do this, being more authentic. Um, and just as my Arctic Thousand was not a race that I can enter easily next year. I mean, it took me a year to prepare it, and it's a lot of personal investment in money in every level, in every field, and it has so much in itself that even if I didn't make it to the end, to this 1000K, it's not a failure at all. There's so much I learned, and I've been living out there. I mean, it's a huge success in every way. So I hope that what's happening now in the world is going to change a little bit people's mind, wake up people, and at a deeper level. I know it's very unsettling. I know there's a lot of wondering and unanswered questions. It's a hard time for many of us, but sooner or later it will be the end. So this time now where we don't know what to do is quite an amazing one, and I think we should see it as as a precious time, a moment in time. So for now, I'm trying to get the most of my expedition, process it, learn again, from it, and later on I will move on to another expedition, another adventure for sure. But when time will be right. And now maybe my bigger my biggest takeaways from these expeditions are to trust my intuition, my inner guidance or my inner GPS, because it's always right. I mean, every time I listened to myself and it was this voice telling me, no, no, you don't go there, or on the other side, take that road because it's better than the other one. I always end up in a better situation or just at the right place and meeting the right people. So that's one thing I will keep on doing even more than I used to. Um, the second one is don't take anybody else challenge on, and maybe that's for me because I'm so I need freedom so much, but that it doesn't work to take on somebody else's story or challenge and make it your own, or you change it to make it your own. But if you try to apply what works for somebody else, it's not going to work out for you. So create your own story, live your own life and your own challenges. So for me, that's a big, big one. Yeah, because I think I did it, but not completely. And in the end, it was really doing it my way that worked the best. And the last one is that life is happening now. Like you, I don't know what's coming next tomorrow. For now, I'm in Finland and I enjoy it. It's just a country I love so much, but I don't know what's going to come next. And I have to live in the now, one day at a time, and see what's going to come tomorrow, but enjoy every day. So, like when I was out there, it was just one day at a time and live now. And I hope this will take me on for a long time. So, these were some of the things I can now take from this expedition. Probably there's more things that will come up later as I will be writing it. It will be, I guess, the last video, but if you have questions, just post them and I'll check later, and maybe we'll do a question and answer video later on, depending, on the numbers on them. But thank you very much for following. I hope I just brought a little bit of adventure in your living room or in your life nowadays. And keep hope, keep believing, just keep dreaming in new adventures, because that's what life is made of. So I wish you a great week, and here the sun is shining. It's very cold, but it's a beautiful day. So lots of love and hugs from Finland. Keep fun. Hej pa!